Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Mel. So today I'm doing a video on a first impression on a foundation. Now it has been out for a little while. I think it came out last fall. So yes, I'm a little late to the party, I know. But I'll tell you a little story of why I'm late to the party on this one once we get into the video. So let's just go and do that. I had originally wanted this video to be a different foundation. I was wanting to try out the new, there's a new IT Cosmetics foundation. It's supposed to be like a skincare product as well. And so I saw a few people reviewing it and I was super excited. I'm like, okay, I really want to try that. I want to be on top of my game and get the video out. And I saw that it was online, but I was like, okay, well, the last time I ordered something from Sephora, which was only like a couple months ago, it took over 4 weeks to get to me. And the product was in stock. There was 2 products I bought. They were in stock, nothing. No, there shouldn't have been any issues. And yeah, it took well over 4 weeks. So I thought, okay, well, let me just try and go to the store and see if I can grab it from the store. And another thing is I'm not the biggest fan of buying foundations online because it's so hard to shade match, I think. Like even though the color will say it's a certain shade, when you actually test it, it sometimes is not the same shade. Anyhow, get to the store and I'm looking around the cosmetics section and the lady says, oh yeah, no, when something's online, it usually takes us about a month for it to come into the stores. And I'm like, really? Like, oh. So I had this other foundation in my arsenal. I wanted to review it anyhow because I have used one of the other products. So today I'm talking about the NYX Born to Glow foundation. And if you've watched me before, you know I'm a big fan. These are the concealers. Absolutely love the concealers. I have the shades Light Ivory and Natural. Love them. And I won't go on about it because like I said, if you've been to my channel before, you know that I love the concealer. So I wanted to really try this foundation. I've heard really good things about it. And I thought, okay, well, let's give it a shot. So we're going to go in. What I'll do first is do one half of my face with a sponge and the other half with a brush. Because sometimes different tools that you use will make the product look a little bit different on your skin. And then I'll also give you a few claims about the product. When I looked it up, there is 45 shade colors, or shades, I should say. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good shade range. Now, it's hard I find plastic ones are harder to shade match through than like a glass bottle. Part of the ingredient is silicone. So if you're sensitive to silicone or you don't like using silicone, then this probably isn't the foundation for you. And it also has jojoba seed oil in it. So I thought that was pretty good. And what I liked about it, because it says it's a medium, like a light to medium coverage, and it is buildable. So I do prefer those type of foundations rather than like a full coverage foundation. I find with full coverage foundations, they just kind of really settle into my lines, even though I use a primer most times. So when I do test out a foundation, first thing I do is I'm not going to use a primer. I want to see how the actual foundation looks on my skin without the primer. And the other thing I do is I'm going to see whether I need powder or not with it. It does say it's very glowy, which I do like. I like that dewy, glowy look. So we'll see how that works out. I'm going to just put a tiny bit on the back of my hand first, and we'll kind of go from there. I wasn't sure, again, about the shade. It's not too light, I don't think. And it's not too watery. Sometimes the foundations can be really watery, but this one seems like it's not bad. And another ingredient that it has in it is vitamin C, which is going to give you like a smooth, more of like even out to your skin tone. So that kind of intrigued me as well. So this side I'm going to do the sponge. The shade isn't too bad. It's a little bit on the yellow side, but we will make this work. So it's blending really nicely. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more. And I did already prep my skin with moisturizer and like my serum. So that was already done. But it is definitely building up. I can see that this has covered a little bit of that type of pigmentation a little bit better. I may just have to get a different shade. I find it's a little bit harder in the summertime to shade match foundation because my skin has a little bit of a tan to it. And then in the wintertime when I'm a lot paler, I need usually different shades of my foundation. That's why sometimes I'll have like 2 or 3 shades of one type of foundation. Okay, so the sponge side looks quite nice. It does have like some dewiness to it. And yeah, the shade, like I said, the shade is probably a little off a tiny bit. So now this side, let's go in with the brush on this side. But yeah, you can definitely see the difference when I look at the camera head on. Nice dewy side, and now we'll go in with the brush. And this is just a Real Techniques, a expert facial brush. I don't normally use brushes, just I find that for me personally, the brush just kind of puts a little bit, sometimes too much foundation on the skin, and I find it a little bit harder to blend out than my sponge. But when I test out foundations, I do like to see the comparison of a brush and a sponge. And I'm just going to put some on my neck. Make sure that's all blended down there. What I did hear about this foundation is it's probably better for dry skin. I heard it's good for all skin types, but especially dry skin. And oily skin, some people, from what I read, they do find it a little bit greasy. But again, everybody's skin type is different. Everybody has preferences to foundations. That's why I go by my own opinion when I'm trying out things. So for this foundation in particular, I think the brush did a better job than the sponge side. This side just looks a little bit more glowy than the sponge side. And I can't remember, did I tell you the price yet? The price was about $14, and that's Canadian dollars. I think in the States, it's like it runs about $10. So far, it looks beautiful on the skin. It blended in really nicely. And yeah, the brush side, surprisingly, looks, I think, a little bit more dewier and glowier than the sponge side. So what I'm going to do is a wear test. I usually try and do like a good amount of time, 10 hours. We'll see how long. Like right now, it is 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be testing out for most of the day. I will do an end of the day check-in to tell you how it looked and how it wore. So something that I do want to do is set it with powder. So I'm using the Maybelline Fit, and I have this in Fair Light. And I'm very familiar with this powder, so that's why I chose to use this one. And I'm not going to use a lot. I just want to use a tiny little bit so that it lasts for the day. And throughout the day, I'm not going to use anything else. This will be the only powder I'm going to put on. And I'm just going to put it just primarily in my zone here where I will probably get a little bit of oil throughout the day. And that's about it. Just so around my nose and down on my chin here. But that's about it. That's all the powder I'm going to put on. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to go put my makeup on, and I will be right back, and I'll show you what it looks like with all my makeup done. I am back. So this is what it looks like now with all my makeup on, and I am loving it. As I was putting my makeup on in the mirror, I just kept looking at it and thinking, wow, this has blended in so beautifully. It's lightweight feeling actually for like a medium coverage foundation. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a mask. It doesn't feel heavy on my face at all. And I love the glowiness. Even though I did put a little bit of powder and stuff on, there is still some glowiness showing through. So I am so far impressed. It's been about an hour. So right now it is about, I don't know if you can see that, it's about 10 o'clock. So it's been an hour since I've had this on. So I will call this my first check-in with you guys. So far, you know what, not doing too badly in my smile lines. You know, that's where I usually will get the foundation, just it starts looking awful around my mouth area. But that happens pretty much with every foundation. I would like to try and find one foundation that doesn't do that to me. But yeah, that's just part of, you know, the wrinkle process around your mouth. But other than that, everything else looks really nice. And I liked the coverage. Where I kind of judge coverage is my brown spots on my face. And that did not too bad of a job. You know, I can kind of still see them. I didn't put any other, like anything else on there. Sometimes I'll put concealer on there to kind of hide them up a little bit. For the most part, I mean, it's not too bad. I have a little bit of bronzer on and a little bit of blush, but for, you know, for what it is, it's not bad. So what I'll do is I'm going to check in with you guys probably later on this evening, probably before I'm going to bed, and that will give a very good test to see how this looks, and I'll let you guys know where, where it starts wearing off if it does. Usually for me, it starts wearing off in this area here. I am going to be filming another video, so that's why normally when I'm doing a foundation, I put up really minimal makeup on, but I'm doing another video today, so I put a little bit more makeup on than I usually do because I want the emphasis to be on the foundation and how well it works. But I'm not going out or anything today, so I'm not having to wear a mask or anything like that, but we'll see how this turns out. So I'll leave you guys now, and I will check in with you guys a little bit later. Okay, so I am checking in. My final check-in. I am almost ready for bed. I'm tired. I can't even talk. I'm tired. But I don't know if you can kind of see on my phone. It's 10:07 at night. So I've had this on for, I guess that's about 13 hours now, because I started putting it on about 9 o'clock this morning. So yeah, I've had it on for about 13 hours. And you know what? I am really pleasantly surprised. I'm just going to bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can kind of see what I'm looking at in my mirror. Okay, so we're up close and personal now. So as I'm looking in my mirror, I was really trying to watch throughout the day where it was wearing off, if it was wearing off, where it was kind of breaking apart. So I can definitely see down here in my chin area and around my mouth area. Definitely, yeah, it's kind of getting some weird little going into my pores. But again, I didn't use a primer today because I did want to see how the full effects of the foundation worked. So if I did have a primer on, it probably wouldn't be doing this as badly in here. Surprisingly, I will say that this actually, where my smile lines are, isn't too bad. I've had foundations where it is like the crease, you can really see the crease. It's really bad. But this one, I mean, you could probably see, you have to remember I've had this on for 13 hours, so it's not as bad as it could be. And I can see it's definitely worn off just down in this area here. Around my nose, it's worn off just because I couldn't help it. There was a couple times where I had to just kind of go like that with my nose. So that isn't the foundation's fault. That was just me kind of rubbing it there. And everywhere else, you know what, it's not too bad. And the glowiness is still around. Like I can see right in here, in this area here, it's still kind of giving me that glowy look. So overall, not a bad foundation. I am really liking it. And, you know, don't mind the false eyelashes starting to come off now. Like I said, I'm just about ready to take off all my makeup for the night. I'm going to scoot you guys back out. Yeah, so pleasantly surprised. I am very happy with it. This could possibly be one of my new favorites. I'm going to definitely be using it a few more times and gauging it. But I liked how the coverage for a medium coverage that you can build up, it didn't feel heavy on my face at all. I was trying to really kind of watch that today, like how does it feel when I'm moving my face around, and sometimes it just kind of, you can just kind of feel the makeup on your face, and I don't like that feeling. It feels like you're wearing a mask, but this does not feel like that at all. Very light. You know, it did not a bad job on my brown spot here. It covered it up not too badly. I do have like a freckle here. Don't mind the flaking mascara. I can kind of see flakes and mascara. I didn't do any touch-ups today, so you can clearly tell I did no touch-ups. But yeah, like there was no additional powder, so how this looks is how it looked. Like for me, this almost kind of looks like how I put it on, you know, with the exception of around here. So I'm very, very happy with it. This is going to be, I think, a new go-to for me, hopefully. But so far, so good. I really do like it. And that gives me a big thumbs up for this foundation. So before you head out, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and become a little part of my world here on YouTube. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this sort of content. And let me know in the comments below if there's any other foundations that you've heard about. I did do like a whole foundation video. If I can find it, I'll put the card up here. So I do have like a whole foundation. It's more geared towards like mature skin, what sort of foundations are really good for mature skin. But yeah, let me know if there's some foundations down below that maybe isn't in that video that you would like to see a review on. I can definitely do that. So just, yeah, leave that down below. Like I said, this has been out, well, it's probably close to a year. I don't think it's been a full year, but it's pretty close to a year. And I don't know why I never purchased it before. I don't know. I like NYX products, so I don't know why I didn't grab it. But yeah, I like trying new foundations. I like, especially for, you know, more mature skin, I do like to try and keep it like a light to medium coverage for myself personally. But just let me know if there's anything that you guys come across, or any foundations that you guys use that you really like. I would love to hear your comment on that. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!